All right, Mal, name your greatest ever New South Wales side in the history of State of Origin, please.
Oh, God, the history. Look at you, So, all right, well, and I'm not even going to get ridiculed again. I know that there's plenty of people I've left out, players-wise, but I'm picking a 17 that I feel that I would like to be involved with.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
As a coach, say an Australian coach, if I was coaching New South Wales, this is the type of people I'd want in my footy team.
Okay.
So and there's 6 captains in this side as well. So there's James Tedesco at fullback, Brett Morris on one wing and Eric Groth on the other.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Laurie Daly and Brad Fittler in the centres.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Brett Kenny and Andrew Johns in the halves. My 2 starting props are Glenn Lazarus and Payne Haas, with Danny Badiris, the hooker. My back row is Ben Kennedy and Boyd Cordner. And my number 13 is Bradley Clyde. And I've got, if I'm picking a 17, so I've got Craig Wing at 14, Paul Gallen, Steve Roach, Paul Sirenen as my bench.
Okay.
That's a fair footy side, honestly.
That's a very good footy side.
And if I'm a Queenslander, playing against them, I'll be very worried. And I'll be making sure I do everything I possibly can to, to prepare against that team. I just think it's all people with great character, I reckon, love the Blues, passionate about the Blues, but individually can win a game.
Daly and Fittler in the centres, and you've opted for Kenny at 5'8".
Yeah. Well, Wally often says that Brett Kenny was the one person he had playing against.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever got the best of Brett Kenny, So, in those Origin games, I know that battle was Wally got himself up for Brett Kenny.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're both great mates, obviously off field, but Brett Kenny is something special. He can do anything out of anything. That's the thing about him. He could turn a game in a whim. So his intercept passes and all that sort of stuff. His chip kicks. He's unpredictable.
Yeah. Hey, there's lots of Parramatta fans who contact the program, and one of them one day made a really good point to me. Johnny Setri out there at Dubbo, and he said, Brett Kenny kept the future immortal out of his preferred position on the 82 Kangaroo Tour.
He did.
Wally Lewis. He kept the future immortal out of his preferred position on the 86 Kangaroo Tour.
He did.
That was you.
Yep.
And he won 3 straight premierships and scored 2 tries in each of those grand finals. That will never be done again.
No, not really. No, it won't be. It won't be. Certainly not for Parramatta, Jimmy. No, can I say that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, hey, that Parramatta bashing. That Parramatta.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
No, that goes a long way on this program. People love it.
Does it?
Oh, yeah. People think I do it all the time. I told them the other day, look, Parramatta is going to miss the 8. So, and they get upset with me with that. But anyway.
You know what I can't believe out of that? That they actually believe you in that. Oh, God. Hey, I can't. I'm all the Parramatta fans, they'll make the 8.
You reckon they'll make the 8?
Oh, for and against. Their for and against is superb, So it'll be a for and against battle at the back, the bottom end of the 8, I think. And, Parramatta have got the ability to even make the top 4 if they keep going with their for and against.
Okay. Gamble responsibly, but $3.50 to miss the 8. So just each to their own.
No wonder you said it.
All right, let's get ourselves to the news. After that, we're back with callers. We'll get to these text messages as well. It's the Throwdown with Mal Meninga. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, welcome back to the Throwdown with Mal Meninga. So, Mal,
yes,
you've upset people.
Have I?
Afternoon, Jimmy and Mal. That was my favourite comment. More of that, please, mate. That's Junior Smithy. So he's a Bulldogs fan, so he was happy with it. And then that hurt Mal, said Cameron. So you've upset Cameron. He's a Parramatta supporter. Good team, Mal.
Sorry, Cameron.
Good team, Mal. I would have had Benny at hooker, said Lordy.
Yeah, no, I had Benny. Well, obviously it's Danny Badiris and Benny. There's no doubt. Benny changed the way hooking played in our game in the modern era. So. I don't know. I admired Danny Badiris. I just felt that, when you got a combination, I guess, you're picking your teams, with Andrew Johns. I just felt that he probably just snuck in front there. is widely regarded as the best hooker. He went past Steve Walters, didn't he, when he was playing? Everyone was commenting how good Danny Badiris was.
Yeah.
There hasn't been many greater hookers since Danny until Cameron Smith come along, I guess. So,
yeah.
But I could have put Benny on the wing, but I put Craig wing because, man, he was the super sub, wasn't he? For New South Wales and for clubland, he could play anywhere. Played in the wing consistently. In the centres and play in the halves, play hooker, play in the back row. He was the super sub. He was an excellent player.
Absolutely. Just on that, Danny Badiris, the overriding image I have of him at State of Origin level is chasing that kick-off, and Shane Webke caught the kick-off, and it was a deep one, and he literally just got out of his in-goal there, and Danny Badiris just threw himself. It was from kick-off for the game, and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
That just sums up Danny.
He was a great player, and it was a tough one, just to leave Benny out, to be honest with you. But my image is him and Andrew together and how dangerous they were together at Origin level and club level as well, and him scoring a try in the dying minutes of a game to win the game for the Blues, and he was the captain of the team at the time. So he was he led the side that Andrew was in. So his passion. I mean, but you can't question Benny's passion either. But it's a toss up, isn't it? Either way, it's still a formidable Blues side. I just picked Danny because of probably his connection more with Andrew Johns.
Morning, gentlemen. Can we please see the photo of Mal, if that's okay with him, says Elvis the Spark. You okay? We put that out on... Well, it was out on social media.
That's fine. Yep.
You should see how nice the socks are, and they're all pulled up and all white.
All clean.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Very clean.
Absolutely.
168 asks, no chief, Mal, Paul Harrigan.
Yeah, well, that's another one we could have put in, I guess. But I look at the team. Glenn Lazarus is the best prop that I've played with and seen, in my opinion. I think Payne Haas is not too far behind him, and he's on that trajectory where he could be the best prop ever in our game. Big blocker Roach, again, for passion and his skill set. Big blocker was very skillful player, but very tough. And then Paul Gallen, what a rock he was for New South Wales through those terrible years. But he was always their best player, and so the Chief, he's up there, there's no doubt, but he can only pick 17 players, unfortunately.
The delight with which you said those terrible years is, I think, was obvious for all to hear.
Yeah, well, the connotation actually meant, New South Wales didn't win a lot, but Gal was one of the better players through that whole era, wasn't he?
Cameron has bounced back, though, the Parramatta supporter. A question for Mel. No Hindy.
You can. I mean, we can argue all day about who's missed out. I thought Ben Kennedy, but his contribution to rugby league in general, I thought, he played for the Raiders, went to Newcastle, won a premiership there, went to Manly, won a premiership there. Everyone loved playing with him, and he was always a danger with the footy, great defensive player. Gave his all, and Boyd Cordner, goodness, in my experience, there's no better leader than Boyd.
Is that right?
Certainly led by his actions. I watched him at Origin level, obviously, but I was lucky enough to have him as captain of the Australian team. But I always would go back to 2017 World Cup final.
Yep.
When him and Elliot Whitehead were knocking heads, and that's the best game I've ever seen Boyd play. He was down and out. It was such a high quality game. Ball was in play. The effort levels of Boyd Cordner that particular day, I can only admire. I just felt that he was a terrific person and a terrific player, and he's a player that you want to go to the trenches with. And same with Ben Kennedy. To be honest with you, Bradley Clyde. Bradley Clyde's one of the best players I've ever played with and seen, in my opinion. But you got the Ray Prices and of that ilk as well. That I played footy with and against. So they're very formidable players and a very formidable team. And you can pick a whole lot of players that probably fit into that team. But like I said initially, it's a team that I'd love to be with and be involved with, either as a player or as a coach, because I just felt they had the right character, the right type of personality for me, but also talented individuals who would give their all for their state.
Yeah, that's one of the most underappreciated. I did a function with Wade Graham the other day. He played in that game and did one with Boyd Cordner. That's one of the most underappreciated, greatest games of rugby league ever played. 6-0 World Cup final, 2017. Yes.
Yeah, exactly, at Suncorp Stadium.
Yeah.
Both teams completing over 90%. The ball was in play. That much desperation defensively, scrambling defence, made breaks, cover their backsides, you know, create opportunities, and all of a sudden just get denied. You know, it's just you just had to keep on hanging in there. I mean, I had 6 back rows on the footy field at the end of the game,
right?
Because the front rows were spurred out. They just couldn't go any longer. They just, you know, they emotionally they were up. If they weren't emotionally up for it and they didn't want to play for their country, we could have quite easily got beaten.
Yeah, yeah. Was it Josh Dugan got an ankle tap on John Bateman?
Ankle tap on one of the centres. It was just can't. His name escapes me at the moment. Ankle tap that made they were in the clear.
Yeah,
and you know, still had the fullback to beat, but you know, just made that effort, that special effort that we love to see our players, you know, make, and that's that 1%ers they talk all the time. And that's what actually wins your footy games. You know, that desperation, that ability to make to win moments in a game is crucial, and that's what Josh Dugan did.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, ask Mal, what about GI, one of New South Wales' best ever, says Fordo.
Oh, dear. Here we go. Here we go.
It's a good point, Fordo.
I think you asked GI that because, you know, he wanted to play for Queensland.
Yeah, he did.
Right or wrong.
Yeah, he did. And I reckon you're a big part of that, Mal Meninga.
Brothers in arms, nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. All right, we're going to get ourselves to a break. After that, we'll come back with some of these calls too. 1300 01 1170. You're listening to Mal Meninga. It's the Throwdown with Big Mal on a Thursday.